Sila ang requesting party. Ngayon, dapat sila nagsundo kay President Duterte dito. Ngayon, tayo pa ang naghatid doon. Masyado man tayong eager na ihatid siya doon. For what reason? Anong reason?
Luhod, nag-aambag-ambag para makapag-ipon ng pera. Lahat na ginawa natin para maiuwi. Ito tinangay sa labas. Iuwi ba natin?
Well, for sure, definitely.
Today's hearing, we're all terribly worried about the OFWs, and the OFWs overseas are terribly worried about themselves. If the administration can arrest a former president without a warrant issued by a Filipino court, paano na lang daw sila? If they're suspected of having committed a crime overseas, can anyone from DMW, wala naman yung OWA, ipaliwanag lang ninyo ang proseso kung isang OFW natin pinagdudahan o pinagsuspetsahan na sila ang nadali sa ang gumawa ng isang krimen, paano ba tiniturn over sa foreign jurisdiction yon? Itini-turn over ba ng embassy o ng DMW yung suspected Pilipino or sa DFA? Tini-turn over ba sa gobyerno? Paano ba yun?
Madam Chair, meron po tayong set protocols and safeguards in the event na an OFW faces arrest in the host country. Ang konteksto po nito, yung OFW ay nasa host country. An OFW is somebody who has remunerated work and is not a citizen or permanent resident of the host country. At meron na po tayong mga procedures, ma'am. First and foremost, meron tayong welfare assistance, so mga welfare checks. Kung yung
tinatanong ko lang, paano tini-turn over kung naakusahan ng krimen, suspected, tapos tini-turn over sa foreign jurisdiction? Paano nangyayari yun?
Ma'am, yung mechanisms po ng host country will come into play.
Depende sa bansa. Yusek De Vega seems to be raising his hand
Sige po.
po.
Quickly, Madam, because they're in a foreign country, they're under the jurisdiction of the host authorities. So if they commit a crime abroad, it will be the host authorities who will arrest them or prosecute them. And as Secretary Kakdak was saying, then we have our rules to give them due assistance, whether it's a lawyer, of course, jail visits. And so it's very regular. It's been
So
done
tutulungan
for
pa
many
rin
years.
natin at bibigyan ng abogado.
Opo.
So kasi natatakot sila dahil hindi nga pinapasok si VP Sara. Natatakot ngayon yung mga OFW natin paano sila kukuha ng abogado? Hindi pala pinapayagan, miski dating Pangulo.
Well, Madam, just to give it a good example, there were people rallying for President Duterte in
Nakulong.
Qatar, and we got them out.
That's right. So, what safeguards are there to ensure that our OFWs, their rights to due process, which weren't recognized apparently, and their liberty or of abode are respected overseas? Kasi sumailalim na nga sila sa ibang bansa, sa batas ng ibang bansa. Maipagtatanggol ba natin sila? Natatakot na sila
The safeguards were passed by no other than the distinguished members of the Congress, Madam, since 1995 with the Overseas Migrant Workers Act, and then now complemented by RA 11641, which created the DMW. The DMW has its action fund for OFWs, and we have our own assistance to national funds for foreign-based Filipinos who are not OFWs.
Ilan pa ba ang nakakulong sa ibang bansa?
Ma'am, by our count, and our lawyers are handling these cases, around 1,198 by our count, and these are active cases handled by our lawyers.
Yes, at pinipilit ko nga ako personally na yung service of sentence gawin reciprocal na dito na lang sa Pilipinas. Pero hindi pa nagagawa yan. So, alam natin na kapag Pilipino na parusahan sa abroad o kahit papano naipit sa gera nung panahon ng yung truck driver sa Iraq-Iran, naalala ko, talagang pinagpilitan natin na mag-ipon ng blood money, pagkatapos nakipagkalas pa tayo sa Alliance of the Willing para makuha yung isang truck driver. So talaga lahat ng effort, kahit na-convict na, kahit kriminal na nga ang tukoy, pinipilit pa rin natin iuwi. Kaya ngayon, natatakot sila, yung dating Pangulo na matanda at may sakit, bakit tinangay sa ibang bansa? Takot na sila. Anong masasabi natin?
Ma'am, what we have po are mechanisms in which to defend our OFWs, more particularly with the DMW, once they are faced with cases overseas in the host countries. Nandun po ang legal retainers natin, ang lawyers natin on hand. Kung sila'y inaresto, pupuntahan sa police station, as what happened in the case of the Qatar 17. Based on the directive of the President, magkaroon ng jail visits. So nangyari po ng jail visits doon and welfare assistance and of course yung immediate release na na-secure sa kanila.
Okay, so yung 1,198, maiuwi ba natin sila?
Ma'am, meron pong kanya-kanyang process as mentioned by Yusek Ed in the host countries. Meron ho, as far as I know, Soj is here, meron pong service of sentence agreements usually. As far as I know, the most recent one agreed was the UAE. We were there with the Soj who signed it.
Konti pa lang, nasa 27 pa lang yata. Napakadaming bansa.
Would not have first-hand information as to how many, but definitely meron tayo mga bansa na
I just
meron ng
sponsored
mga
the last one
agreements.
with Canada po.
Opo. There are some countries who voluntarily send sentenced persons home. The most recent one is Kuwait. But yes, generally it requires an agreement, ma'am.
Secretary Manalo, please, mauuwi ba natin sila?
We will try as much as we can, pero depende rin sa nature of their crime. But for sure, they will be given adequate legal help. Tsaka kung pwede, we will try our best to bring them home. Sometimes we have an unexpected result, like yung nangyari sa Indonesia kay Mary Jane Veloso. They decided just to send her back. So it's really case by case, pero just ang policy natin is whenever we can, we'll do our best to try and bring them home or at least lessen their sentence. Depende sa nature of the crime or the...
So nasa policy ba ninyo na iuwi rin natin si former President Duterte?
Well, it's
Hindi, sa general rule, inuuwi natin lahat ng Pilipino, di ba? Talagang kung ano-anong ginagawa natin, nakikisuyo, naninikluhod, nag-aambag-ambag para makapag-ipon ng pera, lahat na ginawa natin para maiuwi. Ito, tinangay sa labas. Iuwi ba natin?
Well, for sure, definitely we will provide whatever assistance we can kung i-request the President. And of course, here is slightly different kasi this is ICC. It's an international organization. But certainly
Ang
lahat
pagkalam
ng...
ko, yung Davao City Council nagpasa ng resolusyon na iuwi.
Well,
A-actionan ba yan ng DFA, ng DMW? Alam ko, na-actionan ninyo lahat eh.
pero the ICC ito eh. Yeah.
Well,
This is,
Well, madam, pag nag-uuwi tayo ng Filipinos, kailangan may court, may court na release ng
Wala
court.
namang court yung sa Qatar na 17, di ba?
Yes, but-
Pinakiusapan, pati yung kay Mary Jane Veloso na pakiusapan, wala namang court order.
Senator, this is slightly
At
different.
saka marami na nangyari ng nakaraan. Nakikipag-usap tayo, nagbabayad tayo, talaga naman na nakikisama tayo maigi para lang maiuwi.
Well, number one, ang embassy natin nakatutok talaga dun sa whatever help we can give. Pero ang problema nito, ang kaano natin dito is the ICC, which is a court. So it's a little bit different from dealing with a government normally. So I think we are entering into a new area. Mahirap magano eh. Who will we appeal to? Sa ICC, we can only appeal to the judges. Another problem we also have is hindi na tayo member ng ICC. So technically, we do not deal with the ICC directly. And they will not recognize our government also.
Ang hirap nga dyan, sir, is that you are not dealing with the ICC directly, but you are dealing with the Interpol with the same subject, yung warrant pa rin na galing sa ICC. So,
Bakit
hindi
ganon?
ba pwedeng-
Yung
hindi-
warrant kikilalanin,
Hindi ba
pero
pwede-
yung pagligtas hindi.
Hindi ba pwedeng hindi ba pwedeng pabagsabihan ang Interpol na sorry, hindi na namin na-recognize yung jurisdiction ng ICC. So hindi namin yan pwede ma-effect yung warrant ng ICC dito sa aming jurisdiction. We have to stand as a nation. Yung ibang bansa, ganun ang ginagawa eh. Ibang bansa, ganun ang ginagawa. Hindi kami membro dyan. Isnab namin yung warrant ng ICC. Pero ginagamit natin na very lame excuse yung ating commitment sa Interpol. Na napakadali lang naman i-explain sa Interpol yan na hindi namin kayang gawin yan. Kasi hindi namin na-recognize yung ICC dito sa aming bansa. Tayo pa nga mismo naghatid doon sa ICC. Kabaligtaran nga eh. In other pag tayo, we are the requesting party, tayo ang sumusundo ng suspect doon sa ibang bansa na pinaaresto natin. Pero in this case, ICC or Interpol, as you said, sila ang requesting party. Ngayon, dapat sila nagsundo kay President Duterte dito. Ngayon, tayo pa ang naghatid doon. Masyado man tayong eager na ihatid siya doon. For what reason? Anong reason? Bakit ganun? Tayo pa naghatid. Hindi ba tayo makahintay na pupunta dito ang Interpol? Kukunin siya dito o yung ICC? Tayo pa naghatid doon. Masyadong hindi ko ma-gets yung kung tayo Pilipino, bakit natin ipagkanulo yung ating kapwa, isa pang presidente, dating presidente, ipagkanulo natin sa mga dayuhan. Ay yan ang bagay na hindi ko talaga matanggap-tanggap. Ako magpapakamatay ako kahit na kriminal yan, na basta Pilipino, kung agawin dito sa ating bansa, kababayan ko yan, kailangan protektahan ko yan. Mapagpakamatay ako. Pero tayo, instead na protektahan yung ating kababayan, hinatid pa natin doon silver platter. Napakasakit po isipin na, Madam Chair, para tayong hindi mga Pilipino nito. Ang hirap. Yung mga tao tuloy, kung kasi alam nyo, impact nito, no, kung baliwala lang itong issue na ito, you can just imagine thousands of Filipinos all over the world ay nagpapalabas ng kanilang saloobin, sama ng loob, bakit hinuli si Pangulong Duterte. Okay lang kung hulihin. Dito natin dalhin sa ating bansa, dito natin itry. Pero dinala pa doon, hinatid natin doon. Anyway, there are underlying reasons why this happened. At ako talaga, gusto ko talaga magpaka-Pilipino. Tell me kung sino diyang Pilipino na gustong kunin ng banyaga at ako mismo magpakabatay para depisahan ko yung Pilipino niya na hindi galawin ng banyaga. Sana ganun ang pag-iisip ng bawat Pilipino. We have to protect our own. We have to protect our race. Hindi yung ating ipagkanulo doon sa mga banyaga.